level. As we have a look at the 17th. Through the canyons here at the hills.
Well,
Tee shot.
Excuse me, Greg, go ahead.
Tee shot straight at those bunkers up the left-hand side is good. The closer you can keep it to the right, the shorter the distance to the hole. But you've got to get it past that corner to get a view. And again, second shot uphill, very narrow through the canyon. Pin tucked on the left-hand bunker, very difficult. Plenty can happen on 17. The hills.
Well, after finding the sand yesterday, very important now for Griffin, especially with his position in the tournament, that he finds the fairway, and he's done exactly that. Good shape.
Yeah, after the errant tee shot on the par 5 13th hole, it cost him a bogey. We move up the fairway, the third for Zhang. This one hitting just a whisker left and long. And Tanihara now back on the tee. He too going with the driver. Driven the ball well today.
This from Tanihara starting down the right-hand side towards that bunker that Griffin was in yesterday. And that looks like he's going to cut himself off of any opportunity to try and get close to the green with his second.
Yeah, I can confirm for you, Bruce, that has found the sand there for Tanihara. So that will certainly be a layup. And so the third shot for Zhang just a couple of moments ago. Now this is what he's got. And Greg, what sort of chance has he got of getting this up and down?
Rather him than me. Got to play this absolutely perfectly.
It's caught it a little heavy. No spin on that. Came in a little bit low. Way too fast. And with a wedge in your hand, now it looks likely that Zhang is going to give one back here at 17.
Well, the leading players are on the 17th. We've seen the tee shots. Tanihara continues to lead by 1 from Griffin. And Hendry is in the clubhouse currently in third place.
And our leader, Tanihara-san, looking very calm and collected. He's driven in the right-hand bunker. That will pretty much guarantee a layup with his second shot. On the other hand, Matty Griffin is in the go zone.
And this is a great angle here from behind to just show that if you don't quite drive the ball far enough, you have an impaired view for your second shot here at 17. And you've got to get it out there some 280 metres off of the tee, which is a pretty decent poke for Matty Griffin to get to the edge of the dog leg where you can see right up the canyon. He's come up a little short of that. He's going to have to bite off a little bit over the corner of those rocks.
And Phil, you're exactly right. You can see from the camera behind, I'm sure you've had a shot or two from the camera behind, that he is blocked off. But I think Greg summed it up pretty well. He's almost obliged, given the situation. He's 1 behind. He's got to try and find a way to make a birdie here. He can certainly make a birdie by laying up. But it'll be very interesting to see what his strategy here. Tanihara is lying well enough in the bunker, but he's just going to, you get the feeling he's probably going to lay up 100 metres short of the green or so and then take his chances of making birdie that way.
Yeah, that white spot just behind where Matty Griffin is 220 metres at the front edge. And so he's got a little less than that. It's playing 11 metres up the hill. And the pin on 12 metres. And the reason for the delay is IJ Zhang.
And the other aspect, of course, here, Greg, is the fact that it is coming back into the breeze. It tends to funnel through this canyon quite a bit, the breeze, accentuating the strength of the breeze to some extent. So it's a long way for Matty to hit it, but if he wants to have a go at this, I guess he's got to try and take it on. And Tanihara, of course, being forced to wait for him because Griffin's first to play.
Up at the green also, Sonoda-san now for birdie. This is to join Hendry at 14 under. No doubt. Poured it in. This hole has been kind to Sonoda-san. An eagle late on Friday afternoon. Birdies the last couple of days. And so Sonoda ties Hendry for third. Alka, he also trying to get a slice of the pie.
Yeah, unusually tentative there from Stevie. Just removing a little bit of sand from his line.
Okay, so Alka remains at 12 under as he moves to the last, and as we see IJ Zhang tidy up here for a bogey. Not successfully. So a sloppy double for Zhang. We see Matty Henry with some lumber in hand there. Excuse me, Matty Griffin with some lumber in hand there, Bruce.
And it looks like a fairly big head. I don't know whether he's actually got his driver out.
Yeah, he's got the driver, mate. He does have the driver in hand.
Wow.
He's probably going to use that to try and shape it around this corner a bit as well. He's hit it well, but it's going left.
And it's found the sand on that left side. Caught it nicely, just didn't fade. The tendency with driver off the deck is to get the ball to move just a little left to right. We'll see another look at that. I think it started out on the line that he wanted there, Greg, and just didn't cut.
Man, that's a courageous shot, isn't it? Anything a little thin with that driver doesn't carry the hawthorn. That hawthorn bush, he's got to come straight over. And for all of you amateurs out there, driver off the deck in the 71st hole of the National Open.
Don't try that at home.
And now Tanahara taking a much more conservative option here, and just as I mentioned before, laying it up maybe 100 metres or so short of the flag. We'll get a yardage for you shortly.
And that looks to have come up just on that little upslope, which might be a little challenging for the wedge shot for Tanihara.
Interesting times. Now, the good thing for Griffin is he's probably far enough back in the bunker that he's coming slightly up the hill rather than down the hill as IJ Yang was.
So everything at stake. We're playing the 17th. Tanahara by 1 from Griffin, who's in the bunker. Hendry and Sonoda 14 under the cards.
Well, back on 17. And Tanihara just on the upslope.
Here's Greg. He's left himself with 76 metres to this very front left flag position. There's kind of just a little shelf in this front left corner of the green, so it's a very narrow landing area.
And the danger with the upslope, especially into the breeze, is the ball can balloon a little bit, but also don't get your weight through to that left side. It has a tendency to pull the ball left, and left is absolutely not where he wants to be.
Bruce, have you had a chance to take a look at Griffin's ball in the bunker?
I just had a look then, and it actually looks pretty clean in the bunker. Of course, he's got not a lot of green to work with, and as I mentioned, there is just a small landing area for him as well. But it is doable, I think. I think that Tanihara may work on taking some spin off this, because this ball being back into the breeze and off the upslope, you'd think there'd be a lot of spin on it if he doesn't. Now it looks like it's going to work its way down to the bottom level.
Well, with that little upslope, had to guard against the pull into that bunker left. And back into the breeze. Not surprisingly, as we pan out, you can see Tanihara's ball back down on the bottom level, so it'll be outside of 20 feet. It's going to be closer to 25 feet, putting back up that hill for his birdie here at 17. And Tanihara one ahead of Matt Griffin.
And as I said, Phil, the ball of Matt Griffin's lying quite cleanly, and it's lying in the flat part of the bunker. So from that respect, it shouldn't offer too many difficulties, but it is really the small area that he's got to try and land it on that's the issue.
Looks like he is going to have a little bit of help from that breeze, Bruce.
Yeah, the breeze is more left to right now as it funnels its way through this canyon, so it's virtually coming from behind the green. More of a left to right wind for him.
Important to keep the speed on the club here, Greg. Try and impart as much spin as you possibly can. Just 12 feet of green to work with.
And that was, I mean, it's pretty good. Let's face it, it's pretty good. But that was probably half a metre from being perfect.
Absolutely, not a bad leave in actual fact. Had to guard against going too long. You get that a couple of metres past the hole. It feeds some 20, 25 feet beyond the hole. And so he's actually putting uphill there. Take another look. Just see him trying to slide the face underneath. You can see the revolutions on the ball. Hits right into that collar there, just kills it.
You can see just work really hard to keep that club face open. It's the one thing you don't want to happen in a bunker shot, a greenside bunker shot, to have the club face rotate over. Boy, such a fine line, and at this stage of the tournament with everything riding on it, your nerves would be jangling.
And we've seen some very close finishes here over the years. Take you back 12 months, Jordan Zunic, rookie professional, and just second professional event, I believe. He was in a similar situation. It was a grandstand finish on 18 for him. How much it changes his career. He played in a World Golf Championship event last week for $9 million US, courtesy of the victory here, which propelled him to finishing in the top 2 on the Australasian Tour Order of Merit. For Tanihara and Griffin, something like that also up for grabs. Also, of course, the Pro-Am format here. Campbell Neal, partner of Matt Griffin. Team Griffin and Neal currently tied for, second alone at 30 under par. Campbell Neal, Managing Director of K2 Asset Management in Melbourne. Campbell, a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court in Victoria. Enjoying his week here inside the ropes.
Well, of course, he may well get a shot here too, so that could well be for a net birdie. Pretty important in the team competition. But Tanihara with another of these putts, and we've seen a bunch of them this week, up the tier, so it'll be pretty slow. Not as large a tier as on 15 or 14, where he had a little bit of trouble.
As we've seen on numerous occasions this week, all the players, when they come up these little steps here in the green complexes at the hills, tough to judge the pace. It's right in the jaws. So Tanihara settles for par here at 17. Playing alongside Dr. Honda. The Pro-Am team just 3 under on the day, so 25 under, not in contention for the Pro-Am segment of proceedings here.
Well, given the fact that Tanahara's well under par himself, 3 under par, that suggests the doctor has been out today.
Griffin now, this one, got a great angle here. Might have a tendency just to move a little to his left.
Well, every putt makes somebody happy. That was a pretty good putt. He just, I think he just tried to start that straight, didn't see the break. Looked like a good roll.
And so there is one to play, and the threesome of Alka, Zhang and Sonoda. This is the position of their tee shots here at the last. Sonoda through the fairway into that wiry fescue, and you can see the hole location over on that right side, back by that white sign. He's looking well left, trying to use the contours if he can get enough on it to get to that front edge.
Come on.
Oh, watch this. This could be so good.
I would hazard to guess that it would be difficult to play it any better than that from that line.
Oh, that was fantastic. And it wouldn't have taken a whole lot more for that to just catch that tier and run down another 5 or 6 metres closer. Now, there you go, Steve. You've seen how to do it.
No chance that they can fly this right at the flagstick, folks. Got to use that contour over on the left. Very steep downhill out of this thick rough. And that's actually not a bad result. He'll have the width of the green to pitch across, and funnels away from him down towards the hole. Zhang, it's all come a little uncorked for him over these last couple of holes, and it's not getting any easier for him here at the last.
Well, earlier in the day, of course, we had Phil have a bit of a look at this hole.
So you come to the last here at the Hills, a 433-metre par 4, a challenging closing hole for this championship. A difficult tee shot coming down the hill, right into this location here, right about 285 metres. If you can pull it up right here before running through the fairway and into that deep fescue rough, you're in ideal location. Yesterday we saw a few of the players run through into that deep rough and they could recover with the front left hole location. Today, that Sunday hole location tucked all the way over that deep bunker in front of the green on the right-hand side, the traditional Sunday hole location here at the Hills. If you can pull your driver right up here, and some players may well use a 3-wood to do so, this sprinkler head 142 metres to cover the right edge of the green. The pin location, 8 paces over there, 150 metres is all that the champion may well have from this location to finishing up here on the last hole of the championship.
Anybody would think you knew what you were talking about, Phil.
Well, we've seen it all week here. It's just up to the players now to see if they can execute. You saw the group of Zhang, Sonoda and Alka, not the longest players by any stretch, and running through. Well, they're happy with it up there. This one may well be challenging those bunkers on the left side. You can see the bounce that he's got. Oh my goodness, what a break. That is in the speed slot right there. I didn't talk about that option, did I? That one down the left-hand side and just wedge distance for Matthew Griffin. Ideal when you're one behind to pull that one out here at the last, Greg.
Yeah, someone put him out of his misery. Tell him that's perfect. So, has to keep it down the left with this driver.
Averages 275 off the tee on the Japanese tour. This one looking a little bit more down the right side. What did I say?
Yeah, that is, we have as a tournament, folks.
Well, it's all on. The 18th and final hole. Tanahara by 1 over Griffin. The 18th hole, final day of the BMW ISPS Honda New Zealand Open. The leading players have teed off as we head to the 18th green, and the group just ahead of them finishing up.
And some contrasting fortunes with those two players too, Nisbo. I mentioned a little bit earlier today when I was out there, one of the challenges is getting that ball to stop short of the fairway if you take that right side. And it appears like Tanihara will have a challenging second shot. The other side of the coin, Griffin aggressive down the left side. And Lions have a wedge left. Stephen Alker now. This to finish at 12 under and 6th outright. Well done.
You know, I'm pretty sure, Phil, that will get him the spot. The low finisher.
Not exempt on the Japanese tour, which Steve is not. He plies his trade on the web.com tour in the States. He will be eligible now for 3 starts in some of the largest events on the Japanese tour. Somehow he, I'm sure, would like to weave that into his schedule. Play alongside the players that came down from the JGTO here this year. Sonoda. Well done. Okay. He has him finish at 14 under, also tied with New Zealander Michael Hendry. Tied for 3rd.
Well, it's been the final pairing, Matt Griffin and Tanihara-san, all day. They've traded punches. It was a hot start for Griffin. They come here with 1 shot between them, but without any question, Griffin is in a better position. Yeah, it's very important here for Tanihara that he's got some sort of lie, he can chase it up on the left side of that green.
And Greg, I can tell you that he's got a very difficult lie. You may have even seen some of the vision. He's only rolled 1 metre into the long grass there, the tall brown top, but he's got a very thick lie. It's a downhill lie, and as you know, there's no way he can get at this flag because it's all downhill from the edge of the bunker to this back right flag position. So in order for him to get it anywhere on the green, he's got to take the left option, and even that's going to be a very demanding shot.
Yeah, you're looking there. He's got to take this at the television, left-hand side of the television tower. You can see behind the green, trying to utilise that slope to chase the ball around to the right. But I mean, that's very hard. That's hard to do out of a perfect lie, let alone out of the thick fescue.
Exactly right. And in the meantime, Matty Griffin has virtually got himself right down onto the flat. He got that fast lane down the left-hand side, so he's really got a reasonably good angle, but a very flat lie. So he's very much in the go zone at 111 metres. Tanihara 141.
I guess what he's looking at here, as we mentioned, that front left corner. Although this looks like he is taking it on, Bruce. He's lined up right at the flagstick here.
Yeah, well, I'm over on the left-hand side of the fairway, and he looks like he's trying to take it on, but it may come up just short into the bank and back down into the trap.
I don't get it. I do not get that option.
Well, he said he's going to play aggressive. And this is his first time here. So we take another look at this. Deep in this fescue rough. Tough to elevate it out of here. Tough to control the spin. And he will find himself in that deep bunker that we just saw there, front of the green. That's some 2.5 meters deep down in there. No chance you can see the bottom of the flagstick. You can only just see the top of it. And by comparison, this is what Matt Griffin is looking at.
Just waiting for Matt's playing partner to play his second from a similar position to where Tanihara was. But Matty Griffin, 111 metres, as I mentioned earlier. The breeze off the left, maybe helping a touch, but very much in the go zone.
Yeah, I think that's a really strange decision of Tanihara's to go at that flag. If he hits that out left, catches the green, then it's all left to do for Matty Griffin now. Well, he's surrendered that advantage, I believe. Well, 111 metres, that's 122 yards in the old money.
Yeah, it is. I guess for Matt Griffin, he's just waiting for...
He's actually waiting for Dr. Harnder, who's going to have one more shot at glory from right over by the Champions Lounge, and he's going through his antics over there. And in the meantime, Matty Griffin waiting to hit his second shot, chasing the New Zealand Open title.
Yep, they threw away the mould when they made Dr. Hander.
Stand back, folks. Oh my. He's been entertaining all week. Why not here at the last? What, of course, this doesn't help is for this gentleman here. He's one behind, trying to win the biggest tournament of his life and of his career. 111 metres left. Of little consequence to him right now is the Pro-Am format of this competition.
This, I suspect, to be a middle wedge. You can go hard at it and you can spin it.
Exactly, Greg, and he's got a little bit of a backboard behind the hole too, should he get it a little bit far. So it looks like he's flying at least a flag high.
And as Jordan Zunic did last year, a grandstand finish here from Matt Griffin. It was Tanihara that birdied the last here yesterday. Could be Matt Griffin's afternoon here today. He's one behind. Tanihara bunkered in the front of the green here at the last. Faced with a very difficult up and down. And they're standing on their feet here at the hills.
See the Champions Lounge, all of those that have finished the day crowded on the balcony. It really is a fantastic atmosphere here. Tournament run brilliantly. Michael Goldstein, Mel Gimlet and their team at the clubhouse looking after all the players and guests.
Just come down to have a look at Tanihara's lie. It's actually partially on the upslope, not too much, but if you were going to have this shot and face this shot, this is a pretty good lie to try and attempt to save par.
Yeah, well, he's very fortunate to be on the upslope. If he was on the flat, practically no chance. Upslope will give him the opportunity to get a little bit of spin on the ball. You can see that. That's almost, that must be close to 4 metres above him. And coming up over that grass face, the green does slope gently away. So just about everything you don't want, he's got. And that was about as good as you could do, which is, again, why I just don't understand that second shot. Obviously, he felt the lie was good enough that he could fly that front edge of that bunker and figured that through the green was okay. Wonderful amphitheatre here on the last. You've got that Champions Lounge, you've got the clubhouse. That contemporary design, Andrew Patterson, Sebastian, his team in there, looking after the members and their guests. But all eyes focused on the climax. And you'd have to say that having led pretty much all of the way, we've actually got the situation now we've got advantage for Griffin. He's, in all likelihood, he's going to have a putt for the championship. If it does finish tied, we will go to a sudden death playoff. We'll go back up the 18th. Of course, Tanihara will have a different idea about that. One of the fascinating things about golf, you get in a situation where it's just two players and it really is akin to the match play situation. We've seen it in Ryder Cups, President's Cups. Will come a little from his right, slightly back up the slope. Fine round, fine tournament for Tanihara. 11 wins in Japan, but he may just have, well, he has opened the door. Looked like he was in control all through the back nine. Hit a good putt. Okay, now what you've got to do here is get your breathing right. Anybody who says they're not nervous in a putt like this is telling porkies. Deep breaths. Adrenaline will be coursing through his system. Go through your routines. Pick a line. What a finish for Matthew Griffin. Came to the last, one behind. The perfect tee shot, a beautiful wedge shot, and then the putt.
So the perfect finish for Matthew Griffin. One shot behind playing the last, a two-shot swing. And this is the winning of the championship.
Might not have been dead center, but it was pretty darn close. What a great week. can see what it means to the young man. Biggest win of his career. National Open Championship. Tier 1 event, Australasian Tour. Congratulations.
So the final leaderboard, Griffin is the champion by 1 from Tanahara, and then Hendry and Sonoda third equal in the Open.